Live from Radio Lebanon 96.2 FM, this is Script to Screen with host Alan Mohammed.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Script to Screen here on Radio Lebanon 96.2 FM. I'm your host Alan Mahana, and season 2 of Script to Screen continues with the female takeover. It just seems that season 2 is that's how it's working out. So I know I've been saying this every episode, but it shocks me that every episode we continue to welcome women in Lebanese cinema, women in the industry. And it's quite a refreshing thing to see how many of them are out there. Guys, if you're out there, we got to step up our game because apparently we're being taken over. So we need to step up our game just so that way there is equality between us here in Lebanon. My guests are actually two very, very fun, talented young ladies. Their films have recently been officially selected into the brand new Beirut Women International Film Festival. This is our first edition this year. I don't own it. It's not mine, but it's our country is hosting it for the first time this year. It's the first edition. The opening ceremony will be held next week, I believe on the 13th, at Casino du Liban, Lebanese casino. No, there will be no games. We're there for cinema. But I'm sure it's going to be a fabulous event. Once you check out their Facebook page or their Instagram account, and you see the team involved, you will not be surprised. It won't be any surprise to any of us who know the people that are involved, that it will be a very prestigious event, a very classy, cinematic event, and it's for a good cause. Again, women in cinema, this has kind of been the topic of discussion everywhere around the world. Equality between men and women within the industry. But the most important thing of all is to make sure that we are catering to talented humans, regardless of gender, talented human beings. And we have two of those talented human beings here with us. The two amazing, I'm just saying they're amazing. I met them today, but I know they're amazing anyway. Their films have been accepted in the film festival, as I previously said. So join me in welcoming the fantastic Miss Dania Sharabati. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Hello.
And Hala
Kouch.
Kouch. Okay, yes. There we go. I was going to say couch because that's the American way to say it. That would be the American English way to say it. But Hala Kouch. Welcome both.
Thank you. Thank you, Alan.
It's an honor to have you both here. Congratulations on your films being officially selected into the festival. Normally in the first segment of the show, I kind of let my guests tell us more about who they are, to let our viewers, because we are on YouTube, hello, our viewers and our listeners currently listening live, to get to know who you are. Because again, this is a platform for the new generation of filmmakers, a generation that has not had the chance to kind of have a voice yet. So, do us the honor of introducing yourselves. Tell us how you got to where you are today, what got you into the industry, this crazy industry. So take it away.
Well, Hala speaking. Unlike other people or half of my friends, I found myself in this industry because of my father. He was a huge support into me getting in because I never knew anything about cinema. And then he was like, there's this new major that's such a trend now, and I really think you would do great in it. So I was like, okay, maybe if you think so, then I'll dive into it. So I went on. And
that is an interesting twist, though.
It is.
It's like a father telling his daughter, hey, you know what? I think cinema suits you.
Let me tell you why, because my dad is an artist too. So I think it had an impact. And that's how I found myself, and I'm so thankful and grateful for that, because cinema changed my life, and I think that I am where I should be. I belong there, and I couldn't be any more grateful.
Well, cheers to your father for seeing the industry that you would later find yourself belonging to.
Yes.
That's amazing. So you were never into film or anything growing up?
Never.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
I used to barely watch movies. I used to... Yeah, it's not a shame to say that.
No, not at all. It's just a very interesting...
it's very interesting because I come from a different background. I used to paint. I used to like photography, but I was never into movies. I used to only like watching horror movies because it gives me like...
an adrenaline rush or whatever.
Yes, and that was it.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Yes.
Unlike my father.
Unlike your father.
Who failed to support me up until he watched my film and finally said, okay, you made it. So I loved films growing up, and it was all I wanted to do. My mother supported me, and she agreed that I go for radio TV, and here I am, graduated with hopefully...
And you both studied in Lebanon, correct?
Yes. And you?
And I studied in the Lebanese University.
Okay.
Fine Arts.
All right. So you... Yeah?
We made it.
Well, yes, of course.
I graduated the last year, and I'm currently mastering in film directing.
Okay. In the new program, correct?
In the new program.
Okay.
And...
how's that going so far?
It's going great, actually, because I got accepted to New York Film Academy.
Oh, that's great.
But
congratulations.
Unfortunately, thank you, I couldn't go for some personal reasons, so I stayed. And I believe anything would suit or be good enough as an experience.
Of course,
so,
of course.
Here I am mastering.
Cool.
And you graduated when?
Last year.
No, not you, her.
Summer 2017.
Oh, same as well?
Had a plan for a master's degree also in New York Film Academy, script writing. But
another writer amongst us.
I put it on hold for now, also personal reasons. So
lots of personal reasons happening with my guests right now. They are okay, I promise. They're totally fine.
Yeah. So we're like in the Lebanese industry. It's a great start right now, and it is an experience after all.
Of course. So you guys did. Okay, so you studied here. When did your interest into screenwriting start appearing to you? Because I know it's not an initial thing usually.
True. I had my first script writing course in fall 2014.
Okay.
And I was so nervous. I hated it because I hated scripts, writing, and reading. And then I managed to get an A+. Out of like 2 students got an A+ that semester. So
that should tell you something.
Yeah, I fell in love with it ever since, and it's been my thing. So I guess, that's it.
And when did you realize that directing is kind of what you wanted to do?
When I graduated, and I fully accomplished what I was envisioning. Like my hands were in synchronization with my brain.
Okay. Wow, that's a beautiful way to phrase it.
Yes, because you see, I'm a poet.
Yes.
Okay.
But did you know it, though?
No, I did not. I just knew at some point that I should follow my guts and that hard work will pay off. Mm-hmm. It's impossible that if I am and willing to envision what I want, it will happen. So it did come true. It was only a dream. It was a vision I had. And then with the help of a lot of people, we won several festivals.
Congratulations! Fantastic.
She made a great film.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Do you think your past in being a painter kind of helps you as a director?
I think my emotions are what help me most. Not me being a painter or anything. It's you being an artist is already a blessing, because you tend to feel everything so very deeply. Mm-hmm. And
that is our curse.
Exactly. But it is a blessing at the same time. That is what makes you who you are and who they are. So, yeah. Okay.
Because I thought that was kind of interesting, because you said that you had been, you were kind of a painter before, and it was an interesting kind of thing for me because I know, because as a painter, you kind of have a vision in your head, and then you kind of have to put it on a canvas, and a director is basically doing something very similar, with kind of envisioning and, with the mise en scène and where things should go and how the staging should happen. So you're almost doing the same thing, except one is in motion and one is not.
Still
it's
picture,
kind of still.
Exactly.
So that's why I asked that question, to see if maybe, if you thought that painting kind of affected the way you directed at all.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
It was
so it's more emotion.
Exactly.
And
I'm a person who's driven by his emotions, and it has led me to great places.
Good.
Not because people tend to say that you have to follow your mind and whatever. It's not that I follow my heart. It's not that. I follow my guts. So it's a different line.
It's a different line of emotion, but it's kind of still very instinctive.
Yes.
Which is really cool. What about you?
What about me?
What about you?
Well, okay. I like writing.
Yes, as a writer, do you think how much of your emotions go into what you write? Since we're talking about emotions, it's becoming script to screen, the psychotherapy session.
Definitely. It's mostly about it's just like this feeling that I get when I start writing, and everything is based on something that I've lived. I might be conscious of it or unconscious, and sometimes I surprise myself at the end of it, and it's interesting.
So you use your experiences as kind of a net.
True. And I like writing a lot, directing too, producing. So it's nice to have several interests, and
of course
you get away from at some point you'd want to back out from directing. You just write, and then and one thing leads to another. Sometimes one thing influences something else. So that's it.
It's time now to start talking about your films, because we now know a little bit more about you. So let's talk about your films, the 2 short films that kind of have gotten you or brought you where you are today. Were they your senior films? Is that what you graduated with?
Yes, they were.
Both of you?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So we've got a film entitled Crossing. I won't tell you what the synopsis is. Just come to the film festival and watch it.
Thursday.
On Thursday. Look at her getting all confident and dropping in the date.
Time, please.
Thursday at 10 p.m. Don't miss it.
Thursday at 10 p.m.
Grand Cinemas Abu Safer.
There we go. Look at her. She's a good promoter. She doesn't need a marketing team. So Crossing is your film, Miss Dania.
Yes.
A short film, 14 minutes.
Yeah, 14 minutes, and as I said, we're not going to talk about the synopsis, right?
No, not too much.
Yes,
Maybe just drop in a little bit, kind of give us a little hint as to what it is about, but don't divulge all the detail.
Okay, so it basically talks about a Palestinian family who has its world turned around when the eldest member of the family, she has a very short time left to live. So she decides that she wants to die peacefully in her land, which is totally impossible these days. So yeah.
That is kind of a heavy. That's a heavy topic. What inspired you to tackle this?
What inspired me was in my senior course, everyone advised me to do something about my identity, my Palestinian identity, and it's basically, as I said, something that I've lived. Everything I write is something that I lived. Mm-hmm. So the story actually happened to me, but indirectly.
Okay.
Basically, every time I used to come here in Lebanon and meet my mom's family, they talk about Palestine and how they want to go back. And to me, that's not something essential in my life, because my generation never really related to Palestine. So I always have this rebellious character in me, and no, I'm not Palestinian, or basically I don't see a point in going back someday.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I wanted to give a twist on any Palestinian film, because all Palestinian films are the same story in the eyes of the audience. And I wanted to show them that this is not just another Palestinian movie. This has different ideologies in it. At the same time, it doesn't necessarily mean that we're totally against Palestine. I reflect the several ideologies, people who want to go back and people who don't necessarily want to go back.
Yeah, it's not a priority for them.
True.
That's very, very interesting. I mean, it's a very, how do you say it? It's a very kind of current topic, kind of with everything that's happening globally and all that stuff, it kind of feels like your film is being exhibited at the right time to kind of have this conversation. So it's very interesting. So the elderly character in your film, or the situation that the family goes through, this is something that you haven't experienced, but like you've sort of, kind of.
Yeah, I like basically my mother's aunt was the person, the inspiration behind my script, and like basically I always had a problem with her wanting to go back to Palestine all the time.
Okay.
Like she's still.
So you'd argue with her?
Yeah, I'd argue with her big time. She always had that key in her hand, you know, like my father's house. And I go like, your father's house no longer exists. As you say, it's for like the French embassy. So
that's
I don't know.
Harsh. That is hardcore rebellion right there. But that, I mean, this is, it's kind of, this is, I feel like this is the beauty of what cinema offers us, is we're able to kind of deal. Sometimes it's not just dealing with topics that are societal, but sometimes it's dealing with topics that relate to us personally. Like we are able to go to therapy by making a film that kind of relates to us on a certain level, and that's really admirable that you were courageous enough to kind of tackle something that is that personal. I applaud you for that.
Thank you.
For sure. I'm gonna go fishing out to sea now, and talk about your film, Fishing Out of the Sea.
Yes.
So what was the inspiration behind that? Let's talk about that a little bit.
The inspiration was based on a fear that I had.
Okay.
That I was tackling for a very long time, maybe around a year, which was the fact that I was extremely afraid of losing my mom.
Okay.
For no apparent reason. I was just going through like, let's say, some sort of crisis where she was perfectly fine, but I was constantly afraid, and I had these negative thoughts that she was gonna die. So each time I used to see her, or she's going to the supermarket or whatever, I used to like kiss her goodbye as if it was the last time I was ever gonna see her.
So this was actually happening?
It was happening. It was based on...
Oof.
Yeah. So then I was like, what would the worst thing in my life be? And according to me, it was losing her, my mom, because like I noticed that my entire life was revolved around her. And I also wanted to portray, so the movie portrays my worst fear, which I think is not only my fear, it's the fear of a lot of people. So my main character, who's called Lila, is not a character that's showing or taking us on a route where only certain people would understand. She's like some sort of a worldwide character. So yeah, that was what inspired me to make my movie.
That's like another personal topic or another personal thing, but on a completely different level.
When you said the fact that you make the art in order to like find your therapy, this was my therapy.
Yeah, that's why you smiled while I was saying that.
Yes.
You were like, "Oh my God!" He's totally in my mind right now. How is that happening?
Yes.
So that's very interesting. They're very different films. I almost feel like even tonally, they're very different films, which is kind of exciting because that means that, you know, the audience is going to get a nice variety of different things. Let's talk about your experiences being on set. Because I'm sure this probably wasn't the first time you were on set as a set, but this could have been the first time you were leading a set. So what was that experience like for you guys?
Well, I learned a lot from
that's
the film.
Good. I mean, that's normally what one hopes for.
Yes, I learned a lot because it's just a whole new perspective. No matter how many sets you've been on, your film set is just like something different, something else. It's like you either make it or you don't. And it teaches you a lot. It's most certainly unforgettable. Like I remember every single second and I do it all over again anytime.
It's funny that you mentioned the idea of it being unforgettable because I directed my senior short film. I won't tell you the date because I don't want to date myself. But I I directed a second one. I basically mentioned that to you guys earlier before we were on the air. I directed the second one almost 2 summers ago. I remember more detail about my senior film than I do about the one that I directed 2 summers ago. Like, I remember specific jokes that were said on set, specific moments on set, and I don't remember everything from 2 summers ago. I think this moment is so pivotal in all of our experiences as filmmakers. That one moment where you're like, okay, this is my first official like short film, take a breath kind of a thing. It engraves itself into your brain, like into your memories. It's very relatable. The idea that it's a very unforgettable experience. What about you?
Well, me, what I learned, it was a lot of things that I learned, but I learned that the director should be like the problem solver on the set. No matter what comes or what is thrown at you at any given moment, you have to keep the shoot going and going and going without losing your focus, nor your emotional strength to guide the actors, yet make sure that everything is still rolling in a good timing and same effort and level. So that is what I learned the most.
Although ideally that technically does or is supposed to fall to the assistant director.
Of course.
So that the director isn't overly stressed.
Yes, but we always have problems.
Well, yeah, that's very true. That's very true.
Sometimes, like, at the last moment, everything changes. Like, everything. I won't go into details.
Well,
yeah. So it was like an entire flip of crew change.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
So you've changed your crew in the middle of the film production, or
head points of the crew.
Wow, that's intense. No, please do share the details on that.
Well, according to that, it just shows how much some people are very unprofessional and do not give their word and are not as responsible as the things they say. So, yeah.
I mean, we have to deal with this as independent filmmakers, especially as first-time filmmakers when we're doing a short film, because we're not holding anybody down by contract. Like, so you can't hold them down by contract if you're not paying them or whatever. Because I know that's
when discipline comes in and respect and value to what you're doing. You're not making a piece of cake. You're making a movie, and there is every single factor should like be working on the same intensity and level. You just cannot, or else it would not be a masterpiece. So, yeah.
Of course. I think I'm going to rename this episode into Not a Piece of Cake. I like that, you know, like not a piece of cake. This is a
seriously,
movie.
They
not
should,
a piece of
like,
cake.
some people are in this field and they're not supposed to be in it. Who am I to judge?
Right.
But I mean, however,
to a certain degree, who are you to judge? But to another certain degree, you are a young lady who has studied, who has a passion for this art, who is now going up, you know, you're on your way to doing your master's. So you're educating yourself, you're gaining experience. So yes, in one way, who are you to judge? But in another, you have every right to say that you can hypothesize that there are certain people that should not be on a film set.
If they're not ready to die or are head over toes for what they're doing, they should just not be there.
That's exactly what I said last week on my show. That's literally what I said last week. I said, if you're not in it to win it, if you're not going to sacrifice, compromise, sell your soul, you know, if you're not going to fight for it every single breath you take on that set, pack up and leave.
Can I say something?
Of course.
Which is the fact that this particular major is something so sadistic, and you have to either
it's masochistic, not sadistic. It's masochistic. Masochistic is like the one that you do pain to yourself.
Yes, but you cannot help it because like you give your entire soul and body and brain and physical effort and everything, and then you either succeed or you fail, but in either both ways there's this pleasure where you want to do more, but you're never enough.
True.
Because it offers so much. It's such a vast field. So
do you think all of that affects or is harder because you two are young women?
No,
I think yes.
I personally don't think so.
Hala, definitely things have changed now with women in the industry and whatnot, but I always believe that we still don't have our like full rights and men still dominate us. I mean, look at the cinematography field, for example. How many DOPs do you see that are female? Mm-hmm. And I'm against that. Like,
personally, I love any set that has a woman that is on the camera.
It's like something else.
It's completely different. It's like seeing, as cliche as it sounds, it's like seeing a girl on a motorcycle. It's like a completely different, I mean, it's just something that you rarely see, but when you see it, you're just like, whoa, this is genius.
Yes. But let's make something clear that this is just happening here. It's not going global. So like we do have it's up to the girls to make a step. It's not because of men.
And it's up to us to like accept the girls.
I do agree that to a certain limit, you know, and I love how time is just flying up there. I do agree that there is a part of it that, yes, women need to say, no, I can do this. And
they
I can
believe in themselves.
You know, that is a big part of it. Yes, I do agree. But then to another certain degree, I do. Look, let's face it. Camera equipment and lighting and all that stuff, it's not easy to handle. It's heavy equipment. It's sometimes even risky and dangerous equipment to handle. So the industry is just like, okay, do we want to risk it or do we not? And this is, and as you know, touchy and sensitive and maybe even controversial as it sounds, there is a certain aspect of the industry trying to protect itself from insurance claims, from you know, because I mean that it is kind of the truth, you know, like some of that equipment. Me as a man, I look at some of that equipment and I go, I would not touch this with you know, ever, because it just seems so complicated and geary and whatever. So if I, a man, look at it and go, nope, then I don't judge any woman that looks at it and goes, nope, because I get it. But you're right. There needs to be a level of confidence, new confidence in women that, yes, they can do it. Obviously, the Oscars this year nominated the first female cinematographer, and that was kind of
goosebumps.
Admirable. But again, I like to look at it as they nominated her because of the work, or at least I hope that this is why they did it, and not just because she is a woman.
I personally think, okay, this might seem very tough and vulgar, but if we tend to castrate a man and a woman, what would be left? Like two humans,
right?
Simply
right.
Two humans,
right?
A woman can have physical nerve, and a man can also not have physical nerve.
Absolutely.
So there is nothing that is as gender equality. It's something that society builds into your mind and like brainwashes you. So a girl could be a DOP but not carry the camera and actually film the entire movie.
Right, sure.
So,
sure.
Yeah.
So as two young women in this industry, okay, where do you see yourselves going? Where do you see yourselves heading? What are some of the goals that you want to achieve in your career? Shoot.
Well, for the long run,
yes.
I only have one dream, and then I could die peacefully, which is...
Well, may that death be very far, far away.
No, we're just stating the extremity.
Right, the extremity, okay.
Yes. So, which is to only make one really good feature film as a Lebanese director. And then, it would be more than sufficient to myself being...
Wow,
dude,
okay.
You give up quick.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was expecting some like, you know, you know, like, I don't know, some fighting or something.
No, what about the talk of wanting more all the time?
I will want more, but I'm just stating the extremité.
The extremity.
Exactly.
The worst case scenario, Hala, for Hala, it's like, okay, I'll just make the one movie, people can like it, and then they'll call it the best Lebanese movie ever, and then I'm done. I'm retiring. I can go live peacefully in my chateau near the water.
On the other hand, I'm working on publishing a book.
Well, there we go.
There you go.
It's in process because I'm writing poetry.
Ooh.
And I'm trying to collaborate with several artists who would be able to illustrate my poems.
Okay.
And furthermore, there's also
good luck with that, because as a recent poetry book publisher, it's tough.
stuff.
Yeah. You kind of have to do it just to say that you did it and then just kind of forget about it, because I cannot guarantee that any residuals will ever come in, because it's a very tough industry out there for us poets.
I know. And on the other hand, Bad, there's a play I'm working on.
Okay.
A theater.
Well, yeah, play. Got it. There, you can't have a movie play.
Sorry. Okay, and yes, that is what I'm planning.
Okay, cool. What about you?
Well, I'm not into plays yet. I wasn't into script writing. Yeah. And
things could change.
Yes.
Things might change here. Literally right now. Things could change.
True, man. Well, I'm into production. Like, I've been into production since summer. So I'm planning on building a profile in that. I want to produce like short films, like get like people to know me more, and maybe it helps you in the industry a lot.
Of course, because you have kind of you'll be able to have a reel and contacts and networking.
Exactly.
Of course,
it would be perfect.
More exposure.
So I do that, and scripts on the side with hopefully someday soon I'd get to like write a second film and direct it, but I want to do it when I'm like totally ready. Like, definitely. And about writing, all my friends tell me to go for novels, but I'm still not into that. So
you just, as a person who's tried kind of, I've done the poetry thing, I've been published, yay. I've done the screenwriting thing. This is kind of where I find myself the most. Novels, I feel like maybe one day when I'm like 50, and I've got nothing on my mind except my pipe and the chimney, and maybe like a glass of nice, I don't know, famous grouse, on the rocks, that sort of thing. Then I'll write my novel, because
but we're 23 right now, so that's like
you've got a long time to go.
Long way ahead.
Yeah, you've got a long time to go. Well, I mean, I'm not that old, but I'm not 23. So, okay, cool. Well, I mean, those are nice goals. We've got the minimalist right here, and then we've got the slightly more ambitious person right there. I'm going to make more short films and get known. I just want to make one movie, and I'll do the play, and I'll publish a book.
And then I could die peacefully again. No, but there is one more thing.
Yes.
That happened very recently in my life, and I'm really enjoying.
Okay.
Which is the fact of teaching.
Ooh,
yes,
fun.
Teaching,
as a teacher, it is stressful, but it is fun.
As much as it is stressful when everything is clear in your mind, I don't see how much it would be, because you have your goal and you know in what direction you're going.
Yeah, you're only talking about the lecturing side of it. You're not talking about the dealing with students side. That's the stressful one.
Okay, maybe I haven't got to that point. That's why I said something very new.
What level are you teaching?
They're like my age, which is varies between 17 till 22.
Okay, yeah, you're good. Yeah, okay. Yep.
Okay, so yeah, it's very nice to feel like you might create a new generation.
Yeah, of course.
And the generation, we're not talking about tons and tons of people. It starts with the minor change of like 20 people, and that's what
what is it? There's this quote I used to read. Every raindrop raises the sea.
Wow.
Deep.
Yeah.
Did you write that?
No. Oh. It's from a really old movie that I watched once.
Cool.
Cheesy movie, but good quote. Okay, well, we have a little bit of time left, which is when I normally ring the bell and call forth the rapid fire question segment. Because there's two of you, I think I'm going to need the 15 minutes to do this. So here we go. We're going to start with number one. Think quickly, think on your toes, spit out your answers, that kind of a thing. Okay? So question number one. What is the film that you would defend for all time? So it doesn't have to be your favorite film, but it's a film that you would defend.
Well, Lord of the Rings.
Yes!
Let me tell you something, man. I was sitting with my friends the other day. They still haven't watched it, and they're like, Have they been living under a rock? Thank you. So I got into like this debate for like an hour and a half, and I insisted to show them like this amazing scene. I'm not going to tell you which one because we'll like drag on forever.
Yeah, probably.
So...
Second movie? It's the second movie scene, isn't it?
Third one. No, third one.
Oh, okay. So we might not be dragging on because my favorite scene is in the second movie.
We'll discuss this later.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, Lord of the Rings.
7.
Nice.
Do you know Seven?
Yes.
King.
What's in the box? Yeah,
Yes.
I know Seven.
Yes,
Seven is the movie that... Okay, cool. Number 2. If your life could be defined as a film, what film would it be?
Wow.
God.
See, I told you we're going to need the 15 minutes.
It's complicated.
Okay. I'm going to take that as your answer.
Take it.
I'd rather not answer too.
No. There are no passes here.
Come on, just go for it. Shoot.
No? Nothing?
Nothing.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Can I change my answer?
no. I like the it's complicated. I'd probably go Midnight in Paris for you.
Nice.
Your film your life just feels like a midnight in Paris. Okay, number 3. What is a line of dialogue from a film that you will never forget? Really?
The eyes never lie.
Ooh, that's a good one. Okay.
I'm gonna
Chico.
quote something out of your opening teaser thing. Here's looking at you, kid.
All right. Okay. That's slightly cheating, but it's okay. We'll go with it. Number 4. Which Lebanese actor would you most love to work with?
Rodney Haddad.
Okay.
Nadine Labakit, definitely.
Okay. Number 5. Which global actor would you like to have portray you in your life film?
Holy. Wow.
I know, those are such good questions. Okay. I'm so proud of myself.
You wrote them?
Yeah, well, yeah, I came up with them. Yeah.
Man, holy. Okay.
There were a list of questions that I kind of based my questions on, but those are kind of my putting together.
Portray our life when?
Oh, it doesn't matter.
I can't believe I forgot her name, but
Who is she? I might know her.
She acted Eat, Pray, Love.
Oh,
Julia Roberts?
I was gonna say Julia
Okay, yeah,
Roberts.
okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Julia Roberts.
Dania?
Maybe Julia Roberts in 20
Also?
years.
Okay. Oh, no.
I'm cheating, man.
You are cheating. It's okay. We'll go with it. Two young women who want Julia Roberts to portray them. Maybe she could portray them in the same movie. Like, she'll just split it. Okay. Number 6. Which global director would you love to work with and why?
Christopher Nolan.
Okay. I saw that coming. Why?
Yes. Because his mind fascinates me.
Ooh.
Yes.
Nice.
I say Steven Spielberg just for the fact that I grew up watching his films and that's it.
No, you won't go wrong with saying Steven
Yes.
Spielberg on my end because I adore him.
Yes.
Can't wait to see Ready Player One later this year, and for Indiana Jones 5, and for the 3 other movies that he's planning on working on.
Yes.
So if Spielberg's in the movie theater, I'm in the seat. I love you, Steven.
We all love you.
Okay. I lost my place.
7.
Okay, there we go. Number 7. If you could have studied any other field than your profession, what would it have been?
I start.
Okay.
Criminal justice.
Ooh.
I wanted to go for it, and because my mom said no, I went for
Criminal
this.
justice like the law side, or criminal justice as in like a cop?
As in going on fucking crime scenes.
Whoa, you just said a big word. Okay. Apologies for sensitive ears out there. I do not have a bleep button. Yep, okay. Every once in a while that word is dropped, and it was just dropped, kind of like the mic.
Your turn.
Okay, I would have studied English literature.
Nice.
Yes.
Also
Come
very
on,
predictable.
nice.
But so amazingly perfect. Is there a particular time period in English literature that you like?
No, I'd rather always stick to what's going.
Current?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a favorite book that you have that you've read? A favorite poet, maybe?
There's a book in French.
That's not English literature.
I know, but
Slightly confusing.
okay, let's skip that.
C'est un peu confusing. Okay. Number 8. If you could meet anyone from the industry for a cup of coffee and a good old-fashioned conversation, who would it be? And no, you can't say Christopher Nolan again.
What, global or here?
It doesn't matter. Global, here, anywhere. But someone from the industry.
Okay, fine. I'll tell you something.
Do you constantly have to do this?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So after this, I'm going to see my Masri. So I would love to get to know her and tell her about my film and get her to watch it. And
okay.
Yeah. So I'd go for that.
She's one of the guests this year, isn't she?
3,000 Nights.
3,000
I haven't
Nights.
seen it, yes. But,
I haven't seen it yet either.
Shoot.
Is there supposed to be someone in particular?
No.
Okay, I don't have anyone in mind.
But there isn't anyone in the industry that you would... I said no to Christopher Nolan because she's already used that answer. But there's nobody in the industry like you would like to sit and talk with?
No.
To get to know, not dating.
I know,
but get to know, conversation, experience, and
I wanted to say that, but no, because you said no to Christopher Nolan, so that's a no.
I love that I've become an answer to these questions. I think now I can die peacefully. Number 9. What would you like to have people say about you after you are long gone? May that day be very, very, very far away.
Dude, don't go there. She wants to go soon.
No.
She made a change, a huge change.
Nice. Okay.
Definitely. Well, I'd like to be considered on the Women of Power list. Definitely.
Nice. Yeah. Okay.
I love that.
Okay. Cool. And then finally, what piece of advice would you give to new filmmakers in Lebanon?
Never give up.
And I'm gonna double that with a part 2 for that question. So what was your answer? Sorry.
Never give up.
Never give up.
There's a light at the end of the road.
There's a light at the end of the tunnel, but this one is not the negative one. It's the good one.
No. It's the good light. And as we were talking previously, our new generation is gonna make a change. So let's do this.
Cheers to them.
Mm-hmm. And if you're not willing to enticingly discover and dive and throw yourself into this, knowing that you are going to lose a lot in parallel.
In retrospect, yeah.
Especially time. Mm-hmm. Then just don't do it.
Pack up and go.
Yes.
Okay. And my bonus question for that is, what piece of advice would you give to new women filmmakers in the industry?
Never give up, part 2.
No. I won't let you cheat on this one.
Okay, give us a minute.
It starts with the way you retrospect your mind and just the way you enhance and the way you think, just change it, direct it into another form of positivity and belief and strength that you're a human. Ignore the fact that you're a feminist or you're a human who is an evolving body of concept, and just don't waste that on nothing.
I'll take it.
I'd say we're women, and once we make it, people literally bow for us. So let's make it. No?
They want to take over the world is essentially what's happening here in Script to Screen. If in 10 years we see Miss Dania as president, as we all bow down to her, as she reigns as supreme, remember this day. Dania, Hala, thank you so much for being with me on the show today. It was a pleasure. It was dorky. It was fun. It was controversial. It was everything that the show is supposed to be. It was a lot of fun. I'm proud to see this new generation being so vocal and so creative and so talented. It's fantastic to see. It's inspirational even to see as well. If our listeners or viewers want to follow you on Instagram, which is the only social media that I promote here, not that I have a deal with them or anything, it's just kind of what it is. It's the cooler one, I think. So if they want to follow you on Instagram, your handles are?
Dania Sharabati.
Divina Hell.
You what?
Divina.
Divina Hell is your handle?
Is my pen name, but I use that for Instagram.
For Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to hell, man.
This is crazy. Okay, so you can follow them. I'll put up their handles right above their heads on YouTube if you wanna YouTube them. This is great, guys. Thank you again for being here. Everybody listening, thank you for tuning in. It's been one great season so far. A few episodes left this season before we start our season 2, which hopefully sees the merger of men and women, together harmoniously. If you want to follow me on Instagram, you can follow me at Alan Mahana Official. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, as well as Instagram and Anghami, which we're also, we stream our episodes on Anghami and Apple Podcasts. So you can look them up. Script to Screen, and the 2 is a 2. It's the number. So you could do that. Join me again next week, same time, same place, with a brand new guest. Actually, next week it's going to be the part 2 of the Beirut Women International Film Festival. So we're not over. It's not done. It's going to keep going. So hopefully we'll get 2 international guests next week, which will be a lot of fun to have. Thank you for tuning in. And as always, I like to finish every episode with something that my crazy, amazing, smart, lovable mentor taught me when I was in university. And, learning in the U.S. was a huge thing for me. And I learned a lot, especially from the great Tom Garrett. I'm talking about him like he's dead, but he's not. So, he's alive and kicking. So he taught us he used to always tell us to always be humble and be ready. And I think those are two very important things to have kind of as a mantra if you're in this industry, to always be humble and always, always, always be ready, because you never know when that phone is going to ring. So thank you again for joining us. I'll see you again next week here on Radio Lebanon 96.2 FM. Script to Screen. We are out of here.